Now we're entering the main part of the bay, and that's after the Herceg-Novi-Tivat Bay. It's now coming the Kotor Bay, the main part. Here is the village of Luta. Here you see Kotor already, and it's really amazing and beautiful place, and it's really one of the best. By the way, it's in NATO already. It should be in the EU. We are a little bit slow, and this is something I think we should change, because much of the things which foreigners obviously think are a bit problematic, road safety like here, and no pavements and all these things, this is the thing the EU really does very well in road safety and in municipal services. So it would be already much better if this country would be in the European Union. And these things, as you can see easily when you come from Croatia and you see the difference, that is of course the expensive, beautiful things that they have not done here, because they have to concentrate on the main developments. The geography is astonishing here. It's really beautiful, and you can also understand why the Montenegrinians are building highways, even when the Chinese are the only one to fund them, because Montenegro is the Black Mountains. Here's the Black Mountains, you can see them, really astonishing, beautiful, and you understand as well why I say it's very good to build the highway. They should have done the highway first between the north and south, meaning basically between Croatia and Albania, but they decided for internal political reasons to build first from Podgorica to Kološin, and obviously that is understandable as well. And the mountains, you can see how difficult they are to cross and how beautiful actually these stone villages are. But I call now to help Montenegro and to make sure that they get the funding, and how to do it obviously is by a debt equity swap. It's by the European Union, by the European Investment Bank, to buy into the Monteput, the state highway operator, to incorporate the debts and also the highway itself into Monteput, and then to make sure that the European Union is entering that company with 49%. And that's a role model, the so-called debt equity swap we have done with the Greeks in some ways, not fully, but this is the best way to do. Really enters the state and the capital of the state companies all over, and that's the way to help Montenegro. Montenegro needs enormous infrastructure measures still. Look at the mountains here. This is just the beginning. There are about 400 kilometers too much, 200 kilometers of such mountains coming now when we will travel. And they have done many tunnels already, but they need many more. And obviously here the investment cannot be done by the private sector. This must be done by the public. And here we see very clearly that we have to help. That's why we have continental unions. We have this kind of the advantage of China as a big continental union, of America as a big continental union. We cannot expect small countries like Montenegro to develop all its enormous challenges by themselves. There are simply not enough people here. There are not enough accumulation of capital possible in that context here, and we have to be serious. It's either in the EU, where these costs can be pooled and shared, or it's impossible to develop that country in that way. So we have to really a little bit reconsider some of our policies, and the longer we wait, nothing gets done. And we lost another decade now in the Balkans with these hesitations. Since 2013, since the Croatian accession, we didn't get a new country in, and this is very shameful, meager result. I don't blame Mrs. Merkel alone on it, but she has some responsibility for it, and then to have also, of course, the French, and obviously it was a lost decade for Europe, there's no doubt, and we have to recover now, and we have to be build back better is the slogan, and building back better is, of course, starts very much with enlargement. This is the key to bring these countries in the European Union and to make it possible that they then develop according to European standards in European framework, and that is the way forward. And there's nothing bad in these countries. It's nice people, it's normal people. The Montenegrinians are not different to the, let's say, Croatians or Bulgarians, and so we have them in the European Union much better, very successful, working really in all aspects much better than outside. And so as they want to join and they have these assets, possibilities, here is the clear direction we have to go. And I don't see any reason. Do you see any reason why not? I think it's beautiful. And it's something we have to get going with more solidarity. That's the way, and also with exactly the way Montenegro has done it. I call it the Montenegro model for a reason. It's very clear. We have the NATO direction, the euro as a currency. We have the full compliance with the EU in terms of foreign policy, even when that was very complicated. We have obviously then the regulatory alignment, which they are almost finished, and then we go, of course there is issues, there's always issues, in politics, that's the nature of politics, but see the beauty, see what can be done, what is already achieved, It was very poor when it was still, the part of Yugoslavia, the sanctions, the wars of the 90s, and here obviously Montenegro has gone in 97 the other way, has left Milosevic, has not participated in the wars against Kosovo. You see now Kosovo, the car before us, for example. Here there is now peace and everybody is on a decent cooperation level. Tourism is the big money earner, and property obviously the tool to attract huge sums. And everywhere there is building, there is progress, there is this level of development. And of course much needs to be still built, much needs to be done, the mountains need to be crossed, and also so many more hotels and facilities and municipal waste services and wastewater and all these expensive, beautiful things which the EU is so good to do and to achieve and to clean up and to bring it to the Croatian level. Croatia is now double the prosperity already than Montenegro, because it was already 8 years now in the European Union. We had the courage for Croatia, now we have to have the courage for Montenegro. And I cannot honestly see the difference, why we shouldn't have Montenegro in. The argument is for me completely clear that this is as well the basically next Croatia to join the European Union. I'm also of course for Albania and for North Macedonia, because they all three are good allies. They have no structural issues anymore. The internal cleaning up is happening and more needs to be done obviously. But blame please, very beautiful hotel, new hotels here, beautiful, little bit of dangerous traffic, but good. We are moving forward and we are going to this beautiful village of Kota, which gave the whole area the name, and it is one of the most beautiful places in the world, I would estimate. We are now in Dobrota, and that's also very beautiful. Here the coastal road, many of the captains, when they were successful at the sea, they had the money then coming back after the dangerous voyages of trade on the sea. They came back and then they had the money to build a beautiful house here. That's why they are called captain houses. And here we are coming to the most famous captains of the Montenegro coast. Here one of the famous beautiful hotels, Forza. I was there once. It's really one of the most luxurious hotels and quite expensive already to stay there. And here comes of course this is one of the best hotels here as well. Puma it's called, yeah. Oh, quite cool, yeah. Really good things, yeah. So we see here a lot of property still, and here some facilities, always beautiful flowers and more investments going. And here the most famous places of all, of course, the city, the walled city of Kota itself. We will pass through it shortly, and I will also show you that beautiful place with its walled fortune. It was the heart of the Kota Bay. It is the heart of the Kota Bay still today. And here obviously they could provide security. The whole reason why Kota is so important is of course security, because here you had this 25-kilometer bay. You could bring your ships in the winter safely towards the Bay of Kota, and they were protected. And also in case of attack you had the walled city, and then you had another level of the walled city. You could even go to the citadel up, and so Kotor very rarely was in a way militarily conquered. It changed often the hands as a part of greater exchanges, but ultimately it's a Venetian city. It's the city which Venice, or let's say Byzantium, has built as to control the southern Adriatic Sea. The way from Constantinople to Venice was of course halfway with Dubrovnik and Kotor, and this was more the winter harbor from Dubrovnik, from Ragusa. And here, of course, when Ragusa is so exposed to the sea and such an important trading center, here the security was provided. And security again matters very much. And so NATO, this is the most important. It's a historic achievement, the 2017 membership of Montenegro in NATO, and we can all be very proud. Everybody who called for it for many years, as I did, for the independence, for NATO, and also I'm very happy to see that now the EU accession is also progressing. And this is the way forward. This is absolutely the way forward. Now we're entering here the beautiful city, just the last hill before Kotor, and you see again big mountains. Who shall bridge them? Who shall tunnel them? The Montenegrinian 600,000 taxpayers or citizens. How many taxpayers they have? They have one of the highest percentage of pensioners. They don't have a really great potential to fund major highways. It's not a surprise. The revenues is very cyclically, and now the corona crisis of 2 years has hit the economy very hard. Oh yeah, now they will recover, we will survive. That's very good. We are lucky. And then we have of course a traffic jam because it's Saturday today, and we have a lot of changes. It's actually the tourism season is very good. And so we are hoping that this will be much better in the future. The future will be bright, hopefully, if there's wisdom in Berlin, Vienna, and in Brussels, which was missing. Here we have Unica, the Austrian insurance giant. We have here this beautiful city. Now we enter the main town with the harbor and with this touristic facility of significance. And we have here of course the traffic and all these things so expensive to do, and obviously that's then for the European Union phase to make everything safer, securer, and do the pretty but expensive reorganizations which is needed. Now you see the dome of Kotor already, and you see this beautiful place here. That's the walled city coming up, and the harbor on the right. Here you have big cruise ships coming in. They love it. It's something really beautiful to see. Kotor also was very poor in the past, but now has really developed so well, and is now one of the richest places, the most developed places at the coast. And here you see on the left, on the right you see the harbor of Kotor, starting here. And on the here you see the first, of course you see already here the river. That's one of the moats coming in, and we are just around the corner. Here you see this beautiful mountain scenario, and here on the left you see how beautiful everything is going over there. I really like it. The roads are always blocked. Here the city is obviously overcrowded, and during the evening, especially when everybody wants to go out in the season, you have to take a lot of time to find the parking and to find any kind of facility. Even passing the city can take half an hour or so, whenever it's just a very small place. Here you see very beautifully the walled city of Kotor, astonishing and beautiful. and I really like it. That's the moat to protect the walls. Here you have the harbor master, and here you have the walled city of Kotor, a UNESCO protected prime site of significance and real big beauty. And here, of course, the traffic here, the Kosovo friends, they go to see the city, they want to visit the city. In the summer it's almost really impossible to visit it. There's no parking here. But of course the beauty of the city is astonishing, and here you see the amazing mountain scenarios. Up there, I was there 2 years ago on the top of that mountains. It's a nice walk up there. You need to take 2 hours. Here you see, of course, the day of liberation, the famous Yugoslavian day, the 29th of November is the day of liberation in 44, where they claim to have this successful liberation. It's here on the walled city. They have put it this date in. It's Tito's day for the liberation from Nazi terror, the 29th of November. Also Albania celebrates that, and I'm against that because we shouldn't celebrate these Yugoslavian days anymore. But okay, and that's a bit controversial, I know. For Yugoslavia maybe it makes sense, but there is no Yugoslavia anymore, so we probably should make sure that the famous 8th of May is celebrated European-wide, and not to have separate holidays everywhere on some very dubious grounds of historic identity. Good, and that's the main point where the harbor goes. Here's the end of the Kotor harbor. You see the situation here beautifully, the whole city. I show you again the whole city, and then we are leaving up. This is goodbye to the sea for now. We are heading onwards. To up on the left to go to the tunnel, many tunnels in Montenegro obviously, and then to the tunnel going towards the mountains and towards Tivat. And that's basically where we're heading through. And so I say goodbye for now. This was the Kotor Bay, the first part of the Montenegro tour, and more to come. I will keep you posted, and I'm back soon at Paxa Europiana with more on the NATO 2021 tour through the NATO allies, calling for EU membership and making sure that the EU is waking up to the task, and making sure that we go and we succeed to be in the European Union with Montenegro, North Macedonia, Albania in 2024. Thanks for now. Bye.